Hello everybody, my name is Carrow Brown. I am an urban fantasy author. I'm also the executive assistant over at Rippaverse, and on my channel I like to talk about writing craft and how to stay organized, and we are actually going to talk about how to set up your day for maximum efficiency. I wanted to do this video because I've actually had this conversation with several people over the last couple of days, and if you see that there is a growing trend of a question occurring, then it's probably worthwhile to do an evergreen video about it. So that's what we're going to do today. And what I want to do is I really want to emphasize that in order for you to have your max productivity for the day, you have to have one key thing. The key thing is referred to as a domino habit. It is the one habit that if you get this done at the start of your day, then it basically sets you up for success for the rest of the day. Maybe you might be getting up and watching the news or going for a walk, working out, whatever that thing is. It is the one thing that as long as this one habit gets done, then the rest of your day will be good. And unfortunately, you can't just say like, I'm going to wake up and do XYZ in the morning. You actually have to be able to set yourself up for success for that domino habit to occur. So we'll talk about me for a little bit, and you guys can take some notes and maybe do some self-reflecting. And I would absolutely love for you guys to tell me what your domino habit in the comment section of the video is once we're done, because I'm very interested. One person I know said that his domino habit was taking a nap at 10:30 in the day. And I was like, that's amazing, because I can't nap. No. My domino habit is working out. I know, you're surprised. But working out happens in a couple different ways. I'm either waking up and doing cardio or weightlifting and cardio with it, or some mix of whatever routine and challenge that I'm doing. And I have found that for that to be the most beneficial for me, I have to get up at 5:30 and just go and do it. Right? There's something about waking up when I see the sun or I'm about to see the sun and going and being physically active that really just kind of sets me up for success for the rest of the day. But for me to really optimize on that, there's a couple things I need to do before it. And these aren't really big things. These are just general maintenance things. Like, for example, I need to have my clothes for the next day workout laid out so I can just put them on and go instead of having to search through my bins and find them. The other thing that I like to do is I like to make sure that my agenda is kind of pre-planned. So I'm not waking up wondering what I'm going to do. I already know what I'm going to do. I already know what the task for the day is going to be. That's where a little bit of that excessive planning that you guys see that I do kind of comes in. But I have found that in doing that, it reduces what's referred to as the cognitive overload. What that really does is it takes away the thinking process of getting it done and just knowing that it's handled ahead of time. And on the topic of basically removing that cognitive fatigue, I also am very responsive to like prompts. And what I mean is like something shows up and, I see it and then I can go ahead and switch to it. And some of these things are like basic reoccurring daily things that I do. So, after I get done working out and I'm drinking my coffee, I have one that shows up that basically says, go check boss's email, right? And the reason I like that is because it immediately kind of switches my mind away from enjoying good coffee in the kitchen to like, oh, I have to go to work right now. It's a little mental switch. And I have another one that pops up around 4, which is when I make dinner, because then it's like pretty much work is done. And I'm using air quotes because at Rippaverse, we really don't stop working. We kind of work around the clock. But that's definitely like when I can switch my brain away from work and focus on, making food and spending time with my husband and talking to a couple of my friends, which are, important things for mental well-being. If you are thinking about doing this, what I would tell you to do is to make sure that you do not get over involved with it. Like, don't color code this bitch into oblivion. Pick like 4 to 5 times in the day where you need a prompt for something. Now, when you set up these temporal landmarks, as we're going to call them, keep in mind that these are going to be key points in your day that you are trying to switch your mindset to. Right? So one is wake up, right? And then I go do my key habit, which is go work out. Once I work out, then that kind of, again, sets me up for success where I'm going to be focusing on everything else that needs to get done during the day. And I don't have to wonder about what I'm going to be doing because I've already planned it. I've already got it scheduled out the day before. And one thing I will tell you is that when I sit down and I schedule my next day, it is not a very long process. Like, I spend maybe 5 minutes on that to figure out what needs to get done. And then I pretty much just go to bed. Which is really to say that whatever system that you decide to use, make sure that you keep it simple, make sure that you keep it easy, and make sure that the friction point on keeping it in motion is really low, because the moment that you start running into hangups or things that are holding you back, you're going to get frustrated, you're not going to do anymore, and guess what? You're going to stop doing it. So what I would like you to do, and you can pause the video if you want, is grab something or open up like some kind of app that you might have on your phone or your computer. And I want you to take a moment to go ahead and think about what that one key thing that sets up your day for success is going to be. And again, for me, it's working out. For my friend that works in IT, it's taking a nap in the middle of the day. He likes the way that it makes his stuff reset. For another friend, it's watching their favorite TV show at the end of the day. I mean, again, take that moment, pause the video, write whatever that thing is. Now, for that thing to happen, what needs to occur before it, so that way you make sure that that habit is always going to happen without flaw. So again, I told you guys that for me, I have to make sure that my day is already scheduled, so I'm not wondering about my day. And the other thing that I have to do is make sure that my gym clothes are set out. So I basically have a flawless transition from bed to get dressed to go out and work out. Now that we've gone ahead and done that, I would like you to pick actually just 2 times, because I don't want you guys to get overboard with this fun alarm prompting system, but think of 2 times when you definitely need some kind of prompt in your day to remind you to do something or to switch your mindset from something else. Again, I have one that goes off that basically tells me to go check my boss's email, and I have another one that says go make dinner. And the reminder I would like to give you guys on that, even though I know we just talked about it, is that these need to be temporal time points in which you have to shift from one mindset to another mindset. Now, if you're feeling adventurous, I would at this point challenge you to give this a shot for a week and see how it affects your day. I'm not going to be like too pushy and say give it a shot for 30 days because, again, the reason I want to propose the week is because in times when it's quiet and it's just you and me sitting here and kind of having this conversation, it's really easy to overestimate what actually happens in the course of a day. Going forward, I would like you guys to go ahead and, again, just for 1 week, just to kind of gauge and see how it goes, give this a shot, see how the domino effect along with these 2 little alarms that you're thinking about setting impact your day. Does it help you? Does it hinder you? Did you forget about it? Does it just not work for you? This would be the time to figure it out. And if you find that it works, but it needs a little bit of an adjustment, this would also be the good time to figure that out and course correct as needed. And if you are looking for suggestions, you're like, Carrow, I don't really know how to do this. Can you give me a bit more guidance? Can you give me like something? Yes, I would be happy to. One of the things that you can do when you're thinking about trying to figure out when to set these alarms is also trying to figure out when you work the best. Right? So I get the most work for myself done in the morning. I think I talked about this a little bit when I was discussing decision matrices and how to automate tasks in another video. I'll put a link here somewhere for you guys. Once you figure out when you are the most productive, go ahead and make sure that any big work that you have to get done, uninterrupted work, I should also add that, is scheduled for that time. And that can be when you can prompt one of your alarms for that time. So for me, I have, again, the alarm that goes off when I need to wake up. I have one when I need to focus on doing work. I have another one for when I basically need to check out of work, otherwise I will be in work all day. And I have another one that is a prompt for me to journal, because as soon as I get done journaling for the day, I also go to bed. So that's like a nice wind down from the day. It's a good routine that I've set up. And speaking of routines, I haven't really discussed morning routines in this video because that's a different beast. But if you would like me to, please let me know in the comments and I will definitely think about making one of those for you guys. So in summary, because that's how we do here, we talked about the one key habit that you have to get done during the day at some point to set yourself up for success for that day. We talked about how to make sure that you are setting, again, that particular habit up for success by doing whatever prep work needs to be done for it. So after making sure that we figure out what the key habit for ourselves is going to be, we also talked about breaking up the day. And again, I have 4 points of the day that I break up for my particular purposes. I suggested that you do too. I'm very interested, again, to kind of hear what those are for you. Please feel free to share. And then that was pretty much it. It's a really short video, and like I said, I had a couple of friends that were talking about like, oh, I'm just not feeling very productive. I don't really know how to do this. Like, can you give me a tip or a trick? And that's really been it. You know, it's been telling folks to basically do the one thing that always sets them up for success. And pretty frequently, it's waking up early in the morning. It doesn't have to be like me at like 5:30, but just waking up at 6 and giving yourself that time to charge off into the day or go for a walk or something. That usually does a lot for folks. But again, not everybody is a morning person. Some people, again, like I mentioned with my one friend in IT, likes their afternoon nap, and it could be really anything. Hope this video was useful for you. If you know somebody who might benefit from it, please feel free to share it their way. Again, it's evergreen content. You can give it to whoever, whenever. It's totally fine. Since you have stuck with me this long, I appreciate you. Thank you very much. I have some thingies down here that you are more than welcome to buy if you are of mind to, or you can donate or do whatever. Pretty much anything that I make goes straight to my editor or my cover artist at this point. So every penny for me pretty much counts. But that will be me for the day. Thanks you guys for coming and hearing what I had to say about this topic, and I will talk to y'all again real soon. Bye!